Hi guys, and welcome to the next part of the Reliant Regal restoration. Now, I'm not actually going to do the job where I'm standing, because when I turn the camera around to the job, you won't be able to see me. So, without further ado, I guess, or ado, whatever that word is, I get it mixed up. I'll let you see what the job is today. This has taken me nearly a day to get the prep done to be able to do this video. It has been a nightmare. Mostly because nothing lined up with, and I'll give you a little clue at this point what the job I'm going to do is. Nothing worked out the same as this, which is the wiring diagram for our Reliant Regal. It turns out the Mark V and the Mark VI diagrams are the same one, as far as I can see. And the only difference is that some of the lights aren't there. So, I'll let you see what I've been working on. Here is the wiring harness out of the Regal. Everything has been taped up of what it does. So this one here is the indicator warning light, ignition warning light, wipers, oil light. This little wire I've got my finger on there, that's actually the fuel sender light, because when I got it, I noticed there was a wire taped right along the outside of it. In fact, it was this wire, right the way along the outside of the loom, and that was what the fuel sender was connected to. And I found it at both ends. It was snapped here, the original one, which is in the block. The block's fine, but the other end of it had been snapped off, so that's probably why there was a new one stuck on. So, what I've done is, I went through it all, I've made sure I'm getting connections where I'm supposed to get connections. There'll still be further tests to do once I repair it. So, what I decided was to start for the farthest away point and work my way back down the loom till about here, and that's when it is mostly okay. I haven't checked this one, but I'll check it after I've got one side totally finished. Because at the moment I don't want a heap of wires sitting here, there and everywhere and getting mixed up with what they do. So, the first port of call, and I've got a little book here from a local rally, the Kildrummy Vintage Rally. What year was this one? 2017. This was a 60th anniversary present. Right, so we're going to start with the first one, extend fuel gauge wire. That's a fine easy one to do. So this is a fuel gauge wire up here. So what I'm going to do first of all is make my life a lot easier. I've tied up the loom together so nothing escapes. I've extended that a little bit. Handily, at this point, the patched in fuel wire is the same colour as the wire that I'm wanting to put into here. Now, before I patch it, I'm going to doubly check to make sure I have put it in the right place. I don't want to have to do this twice. So, crocodile clip on there. This is my other end. It's on continuity, the tester, and it should bleep when I get a connection. And that's bleeping if you can hear it, I don't know. So that's working. So that is the fuel. So I could be lazy and I could just put a blooming bullet connector onto there and cover it up, or one of the crimp connectors, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is I'll use some of the coloured wire that came off for the repair to the fuel gauge. And over in this cupboard, I forgot to take these out, I've got heat shrink. So we're going to use a bit of this to repair it just. So I've got a black bit here. I'm going to use black because the wire's green and black and I don't have green. So we'll slide that away down past it. out of the way so it doesn't get heated up and stick to it before I'm ready to stick that on. I think I'll cut that wire as well, or that clamp as well. Get this out a bit more. Put this heat shrink over here. It doesn't take a lot of heat for this stuff to start shrinking, so that's why I'm wanting it quite a bit away from where I'm working. Wire strippers. We'll do it to there. So that's looking great. Now this wire here, it did have nice connections on it. I don't know if it was homemade actually, but maybe it's just been a replacement one from Reliant. But anyway, we'll snip that spade terminal off. Now, for a rule of thumb, that is the earth for the fuel gauge, so we want to extend it. I would have said at least that. You can always extend these, but you can always cut them back even, but you can't extend them. So I like to be sure that I've left enough to connect them together. The last thing I want to do is put this car together and then go, whoops. Now, that newer wire's slightly thicker, so hopefully that won't cause any problems. Now all I'm doing, it'll be difficult for you to see maybe, can you? Just about see it. I've not crimped them or anything, I've just slipped the wires together, I've not twisted them. All this is doing is just push them together straight. Now, over at the other end of the desk, or the workbench, I have a soldering iron heating up. Now, the plan, if it all goes to plan that is, I'm going to solder one half of this. Like so. I'm then going to take this, make sure it's nicely finned in again. The plan is to do that. Try not to drop it, the soldering iron, into the carpet that I've got on my workbench. What I've also got here is a pair of pliers, just mainly because I didn't get that exactly where I was wanting it. So I'm going to give that a little heat again. Maybe put a dot of solder on it. Possibly one of the best soldering repairs I've done in a long time. Always find with solder, it's a hit or a miss. One time you get it spot on, the next time you go and do it and you go, what have I done wrong? That's quite good. Wonder if you can see it. You can see it just in the camera. Nice firm connection. Now this is the bit that I always struggle with, because you need to get that over there. That's actually it in place. Now usually I like to use a lighter for these things. I don't have one to hand. What I do have is a blowtorch, which is going to do the same job. Now I could have been doing with that up a little bit, I think. So when you look at that, you can just see what the repair is, and I've not done it exactly where I wanted. Not to worry though, because I can rectify this quite easily. What I need is my knife. I'm just going to cut it off. And while I'm cutting this, I'm not pushing hard on that loom. I'm just pushing enough to score the heat shrink. Just got it off. We'll try it again. Oh, knocked my solder off the table. So snips are here. Heat shrink, like so. I'll put it on from this end this time. So that's the end there. That's about it. That's looking better. One very good connection, I hope. So, since I've done that, I'm going to bundle these wires up here, put them back in place with this. And that's that. Fine. It should be great. I'll snip off this little tab. I don't have to do that, it just makes it look a bit neater. So, we've got that one in. That's coming in through there. That'll be connecting up with that one, which is the fuel wire, the fuel earths. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put a tie wrap on it there. The other thing I should say is I have done this with tape in the past, but this is a lot easier. So I'll put that bit of frog tape. I know the tape would technically have done the same job as that bit of tie wrap I put on, but this way it's safer. Now, just to check everything, I know it's going to work, but for sake of the video, we'll put that there. So, crocodile clip on there. And the fuel connections down here on this one. Spot on. So that's that connected, and first part of my job's ticked off the list. I'm going to get rid of this because this is just old loom tape. So we can go like this, extend fuel gauge wire, done. Next one, feed for oil pressure light. Now I know this is white, so I believe I've got some white in here, and it'll be the right gauge, or close enough to the right gauge. Here we go, bit of white wire. This doesn't need any connections put on it. Once again, this would be going from there roughly to there, so you're speaking about a bit, I would have said that. Just to be safe, I'll snip it. I'm also going to turn this one. What will we do with this one actually? We'll put an eyelet on this end. So the eyelets I haven't got out actually. I don't know why, because I knew I was going to need one. But thankfully I do have them here, so they're not that far away to go. I'm going to turn my heater off as well. It's a cold day up here today. I think it's -7 it's supposed to be at the moment. So right, this wire doesn't really have to be done right now, but it makes sense to do it. On this side it would have coupled into that connection there. So we need, first of all, something that's going to be able to go over that. So that's big enough. And they don't go that size in blue, by the looks of it. So what I'm going to do is get 2 birds with 1 stone, as the saying was. And I'll repair this one as well. With this one. Sorry if it's not great to see what I'm doing with this bit. So that's 2 connections there. I'm hoping when I crimp that on, that'll do the trick. So this crimper's got yellow, blue and red on it. So this is obviously into the yellow one. And I did think that would happen. It really needs a blue connection and I don't have a big blue one. But not to fear, I do have another box which might have connections like that. Might be in luck. This box is nearly empty, but there is bigger blue ones. Quite big actually, but I would have liked the size down from this if there was, but I don't think there is any. So we'll use this. This one this time. No, not happy with that either. So plan 2, the backup plan, is I'm going to take a little bit more out of this one, because I know I've got a bit of length in the white for this connection. I'll double it up and then we'll add that one into it as well. And I'll use one of my granddad's old techniques for trying to get these wires nice and tight. That is like that. Double check that this is the right one again. This feels a better connection this time. We'll give it a try anyway. If it doesn't work, I'll work on plan C. That's worked. So this one would be going onto there, and this wire would be going up and onto there. So because I don't want to couple that together just now, because I don't really know where it's going to land, I'll do this. I had also another option I could do if this didn't work, which would have been crimp them both individually and put them on there. I mean, that's nice and solid, so it's not going anywhere. So that's that, coupled up. So this is your oil burning light. So that's feed for pressure, oil pressure light is done. How are we doing for time? Bloody hell, it's been 20 minutes already. Right, so that one is done as well. Eyelet for solenoid feet, we've done that one as well. Lights, ooh, now we get to the nice one. The light switch. So that means from there down to here is good. But we've got this red wire here. So I'm going to have to snip this to let this out. The red wire is totally knackered. Now my plan was to run a brand new one in it. If I've got enough of the red wire here. Which I don't. The longest bit I've got is this. And it would go, I was hoping to go from there right up to there. So I need to order more wire before I can do that one. So that's annoying. I was really hoping to just do that one and get it out the way. I mean, the wire is totally knackered. Melted there and it's split here. So I was just going to change it all the way down and put a new connection into there. But I can't do that now. So we'll have to avoid that one for the moment. So I'm going to plug that back in. Unless I can get wire. Well, I won't get wire today anyway. I'll have to order it. So, extend coil feed wire. That's this one. We can do that because I've got white wire. So, I will have to cut this back with the stripper tool. Like so. This wire is good condition. So we need to do the same as we did the last time. We'll get some solder onto it. Or solder. It's a lovely smelling stuff to be. Right, so there we go. That's one bit of solder, or solder even, on. That means we need to get a bit of white wire. So we've got that here. The coil, we know it's going to be roughly there. And to be safe, I'll give it an extra little bit again. Like I say, you can easily put these on, you can't take it, or you can easily extend it. No, you can easily cut it back, but you can't extend it. So this is the best option to go for. Then we'll slot that over there. I'm going to check that my heat shrink goes over the top of this wire, because it is quite a bit thicker than the other stuff. Yeah, it does fit over it. A snug fit, but it fits. So, onto this one. Have to do this cross-handed. It would work better if I could. It's one of these jobs that you just think, oh, I could be doing with an extra 5 pairs of hands to try and do the job the way you want it to. That's not too bad. What I'm going to do is put some more solder into it again. This one will probably be a bit of a struggle to get the heat shrink over it. So if I flip this over, it still needs a little bit of solder on this side of it. Pump that out of the way. It's not actually too bad. I have a funny feeling I'm going to struggle to get this shrink wrap over there. I'm going to have to remove this sticker as well. It's nice and cold, that's what we want. Right, put this on here. I'm not going to cut it down this time. No, I did think that would happen. It's went down and the heat of my hand has made it shrink. So that was an utter fail, in the best sense of the word. Right, that's it off. We'll have another go. Get another bit of heat shrink. That one feels smaller than the last bit I actually put on. So we'll not use it. That looks a good enough bit. That'll work. So there's actually a sharp bit on that solder, as I'm discovering now, somewhere about there. Biggest problem I've got with my solder is that, or my heat shrink even, is that if I go up a size, which would work grand for fitting it over here, it won't seal to the cable. It's also quite tricky to get this to work the way you want it to work. So that is on. Got a good connection. But my biggest problem is I can't get the heat shrink over it. That's probably why it's only connected to half the wire. Disconnect it. I'll have another attempt. I'm not happy with the way that solder's sitting now anyway. Try this again. Got this wire. So although that is still wire on the outside, that is connected. So what I think I'll do is, I'm not going to build it up with solder this time. The same one, no, that's a different bit. We don't want that bit, that's too small. There is actually a bit of that thicker stuff I just sat down up here before I... Where did I put it? It's the wrong bit I'm looking for. I did sit one up here, I'm sure, unless I just used it all. That is typical. Oh no, it's sitting... Well, there's one here anyway. This looks like one of the thicker bits. No, it's actually a bit that's not going to let... So that's no use. Try this one. That's the stuff. Cut it. Slip it over. That worked. Now, I can afford to take that over a little bit. That's a second connection repaired. Now this will have a spade terminal on it. I think I'll just fit this one because it doesn't matter, it's plenty of length and it's not going to, pardon me, it's not going to cause any issues as far as I can see. Will we? Or will we leave it? In fact, I will leave it because it looks neater when everything's nice and tidy in the engine bay. So we can always, once the wiring loom's fitted, cut it and trim it to size. In fact, we don't, I've messed up there again. We don't want that tyre up to there, because this actually comes out of that side of the loom. This is out the other side. So I will put another label on it and mark this one up. So this is coil feed. Wiring is one of my favourite jobs, I'm sure you can tell. Who am I kidding? Right, so we've done extend coil feed wires. On to the second page. I like the next title. Repair dodgy earth. Well, I know where it is, and I know what one it is, and it's this. I don't know what it was connected to, I just know it's dodgy. I'm quite curious to see what's actually inside this, so let's go and cut it open and just have a nosy. I've just realised I've been working all this time with a headlamp on my head and it's not even been on. Oh, I'm seeing some rust in here, so that's one thing that's in this black connector. Right, let's see what's inside it. It's just a bullet connector. I thought it was something more exciting than that. So is this going to come loose or is it not going to? There we go. Just a little bullet connector. So that's why it was a dodgy earth, it just was rubbish. In fact, it's one of that pull off bullets as well. There we go. It's actually usable still. I don't think I would use it like, but it's still technically a good earth. So, this too. I know they're dodgy. I'm just going to snip them back. I'm going to move that little bit further down. I don't actually know what it's for. It was, I imagine it was something to do with when they were wired. So I've got two wires there. I want to extend that slightly. So I do have black wire here. I really don't know what it went to. So the bit I cut off was that. We'll give it a little bit extra. As I say, I've no clue what it went to. But hopefully when I put it in the car, it'll make a lot of sense what it was connected to. Right, so that's that. I think we will do that. I'll put this one into what do you call it? A setup like this that I'm planning. Put 3 wires into one soldered connection. Hopefully it works, because I haven't tried too much of those. What I'll do is I'll grab a vice grips. Hold those in place. I'll put the solder on the old wires. It's only got one of them soldered for some reason. Right. Oh. This will not be an easy one to do. I knew that as soon as I started it, that might happen. So this time the opposite has happened to any of the rest of times. It's just splayed the wires out everywhere. I thought I was being a bit optimistic putting this 3 wires into one idea. It has neatened up though there. I'm going to put a little bit of solder on the wire again. I know last time this made it unable to get the shroud onto it. No, I don't think we will be able to get it on this time anyway. I should state at this point, unless I'm sure it's more than obvious anyway, that I'm not a trained electrician. I'm not a trained automotive electrician. I'm just a hobby electrician. Would you call it that? I'm a guy with a soldering iron and an idea he can do it. That sounds a better one. I'm an optimistic electrician. Hopeful. Hopeful sounds a good one. There we go. Now that looks like a good half. It feels like a good half. I want to test it to make sure it is a good half. Because when I was checking this one the last day, every connection I put into it wouldn't work. So put that onto there. That there. So first half point is here. Yes. 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 There's an earth down this way somewhere. I think this is one. So that's an earth I haven't even tested, and that's working fine there. So I'm happy to say that that earth's sorted. So I'll take those off. I'm going to snip that end off it just now, because it'll just get frayed. And I'll put an earth, I'll put an earth label on that. Like I say, I don't know what that was onto. But I imagine when I put this in the vat, oh wait, we can't do that yet. We need to cover this. There's no way my thinner stuff is going to fit over it. And I don't have any big black stuff either just now. So I'm going to tape that one, I think. I don't like taping them. And the only colours I've got are these. And I don't think they will shrink down enough to seal it anyway. I'll cut a little bit just to test it. What I might do is tape it, put this over it and tape it again. That's what we'll do. This will be a multi-sealed piece of wiring. Biggest issue I've got is that I just bought that out of a local shop. Or did I? I think, yeah, I did. I'm sure I got it out of a local shop, that. So, very handy because it was there and I was able to do the jobs I wanted to with the heat shrink. Only downside was it obviously only had 2 sizes in it. And this tape's not the best of stuff to use. Keeps splitting. I'm going to be ordering new electrical tape to do all this loom with. Last time I used this it did the exact same. It just splits and does that instead of coming off. So we put that on. Snap that bit off. I think I'll use a slightly longer bit, you know. It's only a little bit off of this. Just a shame I didn't have the black one. And that would have just looked spot on it there. Instead of a yellow bit on our earth. Shrink wrap, well, electrical tape, shrink wrap. And I'll put some more electrical tape over the top of it. So it'll be completely the right colour. So this stuff, I'd like to think this will be a foolproof repair and make it look like it should do. Like so. So that's that fixed. Plenty of length on it in case I need it. Now I can put this on. Right. Earth. This is going to take some used to because this is a similar setup to the Scarab. The Scarab is positive earthed, and so is this car. There we go, earth. So that's that one. So on to my little book. I'm getting down the lists now. Pair dodgy earth. Change oil pressure light wire. Where is the oil pressure light wire? I know it's been bodged because I've seen a bit on it. Here it is. It goes below here. It's one of these bullet connectors again. It's annoying because the wire's fine till there. We'll probably just add a white bit on instead of this. It'll look better if it's done in white. And I think actually it shows in the book it being white anyway. So there's another dodgy connector, look. We're actually going to stop this video and get a photo of this because I haven't got photos of these yet. So I'll resume in 2 seconds, or for you a brief second. Right, so I've gotten a photo of that little dodgy connector. So all I'm going to do, I'll do the same as last time, I'll just prise the connector open, save me pulling anything to bits. It's nice repair, like, but it's not going to last. I'm not leaving that on it. So I've got this bit here. Came off very easy again. These are very usable still, actually. I'm going to keep that one because it's a lot better condition. Right, now I'm going to snip it off again at the end. We'll use wire strippers like that. Again, it's quite a thin wire. We'll use a bit of white for this again, which is still on the workbench because I hadn't moved it. Right, white, and we're going length for the old bit, which I've just moved, and here we go. So speaking about to there, I'll give it a little bit extra. Going from there to there. A little bit extra just in case, so that's about there. Heat resisting. What's this gauge anyway? It doesn't. See, when I ordered wires, I just went, that'll do. And I actually ordered stuff that's slightly thicker than what I would have liked, but to be fair, slightly thicker stuff will hopefully mean it doesn't melt. Right, so I've got that too. Right. Is this the last one on my list anyway? Repair bro. Oh no, next one's a nice one. This is turning into quite a long episode as well. So I hope you really enjoy wiring. It's probably going to be the longest one in the whole series. Now we learnt a lesson from the last one, and that is do not build up the solder on these ones because this is getting a heat shrink. I'll just take this pliers again. It's a little bit of solder sticking out that side. Now, as long as this has got a good hold, which it does, I'm just going to leave the rest of it. Mainly down to the fact I don't want to interfere with it. I've just a funny feeling this is the smaller bit that I was looking for earlier. And it is. Make sure that's cold. Heat shrinked. That's another one repaired. That's actually a bone to repair that. Right, so we need onto this oil pressure warning light label. I don't think these will peel off anyway. And pen. Where did I put the pen? Oh, it's right in front of me. Oil pressure sender, I'll put on that one. Such that, in fact I need this again, tick for about an arm. Repair broken wires. Ooh, this one's a horrible one. This is the one that I knew I was going to do right from the very start. And it's right here. It's not good for me to let you see. So I'll move that, and I'll move the box of cable ties out the way, or tie wraps. Move that. Now here is where the fan has shall we say, tried to mingle with the wires. One of these we don't have to fix because it's the lighting one and it's knackered. So we're not going to even look at that. I'll snip it off just with, I don't know, we'll pull it off because it should pull off. No, it pulled off and left everything inside it. As you do. Right, so that's one of the wires we need to change anyway, so I'm not worried about changing that. It can stay. Those two are okay, but with a green one here that's had a little bit of a scuff and not looking so healthy. Now, this green one I believe goes up to the dash. I can't remember which one it is. Mainly being that there's a lot of green wires. So we'll just check. Wasn't the indicator. Wasn't the wiper. This is one thing you do have to check. Right. Wiper. No. We move down the next green wires, indicators. It's not it either. The green goes into there, it's going up the loom. As you can see, there's a lot of green wires in this loom. I'm quite sure it's this. Ah, it is wiper. So that's a wiper motor wire. I know for a fact there's a lot of current goes through that. I think I'm going to change it. So rather than do any more of those ones just now, I'm going to write in the book which ones need changed. So we've got wiper, lights, wiper, lights. There's a big blue cable here. And it's been gnawed at as well by the fan. That one does go up to the lights as well. We're just going to change it. It's a shame I don't actually have blue, because that's probably about the thickness of wires I've got here. But oh well, I'm not going to chance it. Right, so we've got wiper wires, so that's 1, 2, in fact that's all of them. So there's 3 wires to change. So I'll have to get them ordered up. I'm going to get some old-fashioned spade terminals. So, that is really it for today's episode on the Reliant Regal restoration. Until I get some more wiring to finish this off. I have got the rear section to do. I haven't looked at it. I'm going to dig through it probably off video because it'll take me, pardon me, another day or so to get through it. So, until then, this will be part 1. Part 2 will finish off this, or it might be part 2 doing the rear of the loom. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. I'll get the wires ordered and we'll get this repaired and then fitted back in the Regal, and hopefully everything works. If it doesn't, I'm going to be sitting there probably with my head in my hands going, oh no, what's wrong with it now? But hopefully that won't be the case. But anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of working on the wiring loom. Not the most exciting, but definitely the most trickiest jobs to do, and it has to be done right. If you've enjoyed this kind of thing and like seeing me play around with these old Reliants, in fact, let's just change the camera around like that, and I'll knock this light off. Again, if you have enjoyed seeing me play around with this wiring, or these old Reliants, the Bond Bug, the Kitten, the Regal, the Scimitar, it'll be gone by now actually, so if you liked seeing the Scimitar, the videos are on the channel. What else have we got? Oh yes, the super van. So and the Robin, can't forget the Robin, the one I saved for the scrapyard. So anyway, if you've enjoyed all those, if you like that kind of videos or enjoyed watching those videos, remember and hit subscribe and keep up to date with the latest. Today, in fact, I believe the latest video on the Bond Bug just released at 12 today, so it's probably past now. So this is the one where I'm on the front brakes. And then they get more exciting after that. I'll explain them in a later video why the episodes have went different order to what I've named them, but it makes sense when you watch those. But anyway guys, if you have really enjoyed them and you want to keep up to date with these Regal or Reliant restorations, hit the subscribe button, like the videos, comment, tell me what you want to see, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. I always like to be told if something's being done wrong so I can learn from it. Because my skills are home taught. None of them are learnt from actually working with this stuff full time. I Google it, or I ask someone that did learn about it, or worked with them years ago, and I learned that way. So, it's just a lot of learning for me. Anyway, I'm going to go and make up a shopping list of some bits to get this wiring loom looking like brand new. And till next time, we'll see you then, which will hopefully be more wiring. I can't wait to get past this stage. It's a bit like the timber frame. It took a long time to do. But anyway guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.